I don't like the idea of reducing defense, because we're already limited in our numbers. So I think I'm going to go with the independent operations. Because we're already loading these ships with a ton of torpedoes. Sub-defense does not matter, though. Surely that's how resistant they are to depth charges, so they can more likely escape. I mean, when they're discovered, they're going to die anyway, so I don't know if that's necessarily true. Because I am loading my submarines up with decent engines, which means they can run away pretty quickly. Is Karl Dorman a naval commander? He is. There he is. Charging my carrier fleet. What does defense even increase? I'm kind of wondering that myself. Because, like, regular ships have armor and hit points. I would assume it's submarine hit points. Which they only really have. I guess as they level up they get more. I mean, it's possible the defense increases sub-visibility. I don't know. It's actually a very good question. Let's do a quick save here because I'm about to alt-tab. Because if it's a 20% bonus to visibility... Though why it doesn't just say visibility, I don't know. Why for submarine defense? No, nothing mentioned on the wiki page. Submarine attack factor, submarine defense factor. I actually have no idea what this does. I'm gonna guess it's got to be related to visibility and hit points and all that stuff. Because historically, this is what the Dutch did. They had the Lone Wolf rather than Wolfpack. I'm going to do Lone Wolf just because it's what the Dutch did. Our submarine should always operate separately in a spread-out manner. This reduces the damage potential on a successful raid, but also makes them harder to detect, and might force the enemy to spread out. Harder to detect. That's what it is. So it's basically all of the defenses. Probably hit points and visibility. Alright, so I... really need to research snorkels soon. I think I might pump out a couple of cheap destroyers just to beef that up a bit. And then we'll improve the... Oh man, that's expensive. Good grief. This is going to ruin my economy. One more. That's all I'm doing. It's not going to be very efficient. Hey, Grumpy Tiger. Yeah, I could have saved scum checked, but eh. It says detection, so I'm going to say it's detection. Although I guess what I could do, hold on, is... I mean, I'm going to take that option regardless, but what we can definitely do is note down the stats right now. So we shall take a tier 3 submarine, and we shall take a piece of paper. As soon as I find a spare piece of paper, there's one. And we are going to write down hit points 30. Armor 0. Surface Viz 1. Sub Viz 13.5. Oh, it's not Surface Viz at all, yeah, it's Sub Viz. 13.5. That's probably the number that changes. Yeah, that's true, I could screenshot it, but eh. Paper has its uses. Hey, Faceless. And we shall see what changes. We'll do that. How's your training coming? It's coming along. Paraguay declared war on Argentina. You're getting some equipment back now. And on Bolivia. Man, it's taking us 2 months to build one of these destroyers. I guess that's because of all of the defensive loss. Steel shortages. Chaotic reports are coming from the small mountain republic of Switzerland, stating that the syndicalist revolutionaries seized the western regions of the Romandie and occupied Haute-Savoie following a Swiss military crackdown on the region. Supporting the successful Swiss revolutionaries, French troops have quickly moved in to occupy the region, and the Swiss military has held a defensive posture, unwilling to advance on the French guns. It seems that the speed of the revolutionary action has caught the Swiss government off guard, and they are unwilling to escalate the violence into a full war with France. It remains to be seen what the Swiss will do next. Speaking of which, can I... Yeah, I can. Level up again. Boop. And we're up to 9 civilian factories now. CNT FAI declared war on Spain. And there goes the Second Civil War. Ever since the defeat of Napoleon, Spain has been plagued by violence, dissent and turmoil. No amount of pleading, deal-making and appeasement has managed to do more than paper over the cracks as tensions have bubbled. Finally, they boiled over and the Spanish kingdom has been ripped apart by a three-sided civil war between the numerous factions. And now I think I am going to take Fürstner's indirect thing. There's submarine defense right there. 10%. It was you. Nope, that's a destroyer. It was you. Alright, so. Hit points. Still 30. Sub-visibility. Still 13.5. I have no idea what defense modifiers. Because it's none of those stats. Sub detection went down. That's the ability to detect subs. Huh? Which is not really relevant for subs anyway. Mysore declared one princely federation. Okay. Sub detection went down from 20 to 18 and from 4 to 3.6. Yeah, I suspect that's something to do with the Admiral. Because it's back again. Nah. We'll see if submarines survive 20% more than they seem to survive. Here we go. Dutch elections. With the incidents in Amsterdam and Zwolle still fresh in people's memories, the parliamentary elections are going to be hotly contested this year, and the police are out in force to deter would-be troublemakers. The CNA superbloc currently has the strongest parliamentary position, but with the pillars teetering on the brink of destruction and the hemorrhaging votes left and right, their superiority of the ballot box is very much in question. However, laced links, the combination of the left liberals and the moderate social democrats, can also count on a broad support base, perhaps even enough to dethrone the CNA. And there's always the spectre of radicalism waiting in the wings. Alright, so links. Laced links. Social Conservatives lose 20%, Social Democrats gain 25%, and Social Liberals gain 5%. CNA retains dominance, they lose 1%. And our national focus tree changes to Reactionary Netherlands. Social Democratic Netherlands or Reactionary Netherlands. So these are both reactionary. I'm going to do lace links. That's what I wanted to do from the start. We're going to see if we can make ourselves market liberal. Oh, that counts. Oh! Hello, entirely new focus tree? No, not entirely new. This stuff's... It cancelled my independent operations progress! Fantastic. I wasted, like, 20 political power. Wait, there are multiple focus trees. They put a lot of effort into this. That's amazing. That's Kaiserreich for you. I mean, half of it's still the same. And this is what they mean with the dynamic focus trees. Like the Dutch foreign policy, army, navy, and air force are all the same. But they've got the political ones which are different. And that's what all of this is. So this will bypass, then we can choose whether we want the SDAP, RSAP coalition or the VDB SDAP coalition. So syndicalism and totalism go down with that one. Minimum wage, stability, national populists goes down. National populist paternal autocrats goes down. What? 20% reduction to consumer goods factories. Good grief. Radical socialist 10% stability. Radical Socialist, 10% war support. Or Doorbraak, which is war support, Social Democrats, Social Liberals, and Market Liberals. Totalist, Syndicalist, and Radical Socialist goes down. Stability. So you can actually go Radical Socialist this way. You can overthrow the system where we abandon the Dutch East Indies, and I guess this makes us actually fully communist. Political power gain plus 5%, training time goes up. Stability goes up, paternal autocrats and national populist goes down, totalist, syndicalist and radical socialist goes down. Event end of the violence, Doorbraak, which is stability, social democrats, social liberals, etc. Social democrats goes up, social conservatives goes down, base stability goes up, big time. So this way gets the most stability. Yeah, it's the radical socialist that gets the ridiculous consumer goods. Which is kind of crazy. We need a zoom out option for some of these countries. I mean, this is big. Russia's is bigger. Probably, although this one's gotten more impressive. I kind of need to know. I'm really curious now what the radical Dutch one's like. I do wonder how the German Reich is going to feel about... Sorry, the Reichspakt is going to feel if I went radical socialist. Whether that would get me kicked out or not. So if I say that the CNA retains dominance, we're now radical. Here we go. Whoa, that's even bigger. So Reinders Putsch, or the VNH electoral victory. Consolidate the junta, declare martial law. So this is authoritarian democrat. Dissolve the Landwacht, secret police. Crackdown, Queen speech, war support. Authoritarian democrat. Division recovery. Permanent stability plus 20% stability. And we lose brawling on the streets to restore democracy. That's even more stability than you get if you didn't do this. Or intimidate Parliament, rebuild the Binnenhof, Syndicalist crackdown, Papua camps, Red Scare. Break up the socialist pillar. National populism. And then you can choose VAT or Geelkerken. 20% base stability, 20% base stability. Alliance of the right. Political power, but you lose stability. War support stability, political power, war support, division defense on core territory, division attack on core territory, stability, massive amount of stability with these. The CNA rules alone. The battle for Gouda. Gotta get that cheese. Quite a lot of stability that way. Work with the LSP. Negotiate with the left. Minus 20% stability. Limited welfare. Restrict the Red Front. Negotiation successful. So this could be unsuccessful. Negotiate with the right. Same thing. So trying to work with the LSP is difficult, apparently. Remove brawling in the streets. I'm trying to remember if there was a remove brawling in the streets for the moderate one we went. I'm still going to go with the one I chose. I just wanted to show that because that was crazy. Hey, Silas. Although I do like the idea of the authoritarian democratic one where we basically restore order and then become a democracy again. Oh, there it is. Base stability. So yes, we do have one. Remove sprawling in the streets. So actually, these are almost certainly more stable. Not surprisingly. Yeah, we're going to stick with this. I do like more stability, although it's 15% party popularity. Who's actually in power right now? Oh, the Social Conservatives are still, though that's about to change, I assume. Probably at midnight tonight. Nope, Social Conservatives are still in power. I guess we have to choose which coalition we have. Moderate left cabinet. The Laced Links electoral alliance has successfully and soundly defeated the CNA. The increasingly authoritarian stance of the Christian right has led to a surge in support for the moderate left, and now Culhane and his bloated, oversized party have been sent packing. However, unlike the total monolithic unification of the CNA, Laced Links was merely an electoral alliance of convenience, and the left liberals of the VDB and the Social Democrats of the SDAP still retain their separate parties with their own programs and ideals. The few half-hearted efforts made towards further unification have been shouted down, so the Life Links is no more. Obviously, the SDAP were the largest side in the pact and thus are in a position to choose who they'll work with. Queen Wilhelmina has informed them that she is only willing to give the post of formateur to a social liberal. Thus, it's impossible for Albarda to become minister president without an impasse forming a new government. So Peter Aud becomes the head of government. Resource gain efficiency plus 14, not really that good. Daily political power plus 0.7, which is good. Keynesian economy, daily political power, resource gain efficiency down. Consumer goods factories minus 3. Production efficiency minus 3. Frank von der Hus, resistance, growth, and stability. Or Albarda. Political power plus goes up. Construction speed goes down. Servatius Bart. Doesn't matter. Resource industrialists. Resource efficiency goes up by 6. Leader of the people. Oh. Frank de Kusk is in charge regardless. Oh, I don't know. So yeah, radical socialist can still get the twinkling social democracy. It does amuse me, the idea that there's a radical socialist in the Reichspakt. Tenaren Revolt. What's that? Oh, it's this. Oh! Okay. I don't actually know what acceptance of totalism, syndicalism, radical socialism, and national populism actually means. But right now, the Social Democrats are by far and away in superior charge. I mean, this way is the social democratic way. entice the Christian progressives, gives you another 10%, and social conservatives lose 10%, which is pretty big. So this is by far, like, the best in terms of political stability. And this one probably will get you kicked out of the Reichspact. So this is the Social Democrat tree. Is there a special communist tree too? Yes, I suspect it's if you overthrow the system. And we have seen the Dutch go socialist, actually. In at least one of the games. Our current consumer goods usage is 25%. It would be down to 5. And in fact, if we had war economy, we would have no consumer goods factories. It'd be the same as if we were playing the Union of Britain again. Considering how few of them we have, that might actually be a good idea. But there will not be very many radical socialists, like we will not control much of the party. Which does have effects elsewhere. We've just done a communist playthrough though. No, we're going to do the VDP SDAP. Although taking on the Entente Navy and the German Navy, being next door to Germany, does sound amusing. Right, the other question is which coalition we do. So this is a VDP SDAP, which is not that. Yes, it is. Yeah, we'll get a lot of stability doing that way. This is the LSP or CNA LSP, which we don't have, so that one's irrelevant. This is CNA LSP, which we don't have, and this is the CNA VNH, which we also don't have. Country of canals. Oh, that's infrastructure, not factories. Dockyard construction speed plus 20%. I mean, that would have been really nice. If we'd stayed with Reinders.